The last change. I'm 32 and my wife and I have been married for nearly 6 years. We have been together for almost 8. We have 2 beautiful daughters that we both love unconditionally, and we are both active duty military. I recently returned from a deployment overseas to a wife that had withdrawn emotionally from me. We spent a lot of time together and with the kids, and we had slept together quite a few times also in that first week, but I could tell something was wrong. I texted her something on my birthday, June 14th, and like always added at the end that I loved her. She replied back and didn't tell me that she loved me back. I called her and asked her what was wrong because she never does that. She responded with an email that stated that she had been unhappy for years and that it took her deployment last year and my deployment this year to realize that she was becoming more of herself again and that she thought she didn't need me anymore, that she could be happier on her own. She also told me she loved me but didn't have those in love feelings anymore, no spark. Of course, I was devastated and agreed that if that was what she wanted I couldn't stop her. Back to the current situation in a bit, but I wanted to give some background of our relationship. We had our first child within a year of meeting and being both on active duty. Life was rough to say the least, but we knew we loved each other before we found out we were pregnant. Like most couples, we had our share of fighting and arguing, trying to change one another to make it easier instead of working as a team on our problem and being there for each other. This only got worse and worse. I was unhappy but content and optimistic that everything would work out because I love my family so much. On the other hand, my wife holds stuff inside and represses emotion. It took these deployments for her to realize how unhappy she had been and that she wanted out. So, after the email on my birthday, my wife came home and we talked for a while. I finally asked what she wanted and she said she didn't know. Then I asked if she wanted a divorce from me. She immediately started crying, and then after what seemed like an eternity, she shook her head yes. I asked if there was any chance of us staying together and she cried again and shook her head no. Surprisingly enough, I keep my emotions in check, took off my ring and set it down on the coffee table. I told her everything would be all right and we would do everything to make sure the kids were our #1 priority. I packed some things and moved into my brother's house. After a few days I realized that I could never leave my wife without at least fighting for it to work. You guys can probably guess what came next. The constant crying, begging, pleading, rationalizing, and all the rest. She finally told me to come back home and that we needed to go slow and see where it would lead. She told me that she wouldn't commit to anything and we would take it day by day. She said she didn't know what she wanted. On one hand, she feels like she can be herself and be happy on her own even though she loves me very much. On the other hand, she said that she can't see herself with anybody else and couldn't imagine me not sharing a life with her. Confusing, right? During the next 10 days or so we had our ups and downs. I would break down emotionally trying to understand if she was warming back up to me or not. Some days were great, some days we talked and laughed and generally enjoyed one another's company, like we used to. I thanked God for the good days and just struggled through the bad ones. During our talks, she still asserted that her feelings hadn't changed, but I figured I would just keep working at it and convince her myself on what path she would take. We didn't sleep together during any of this, but she would let me hold her at night or give her a hug or kiss. Sometimes, when it became too much on her, she would give me a hug or tell me she loved me. Finally, I decided that this wasn't working and decided to move back out on a more long-term basis to give her space to think and decide what she wants. I have been at my brother's house for over 2 weeks now. I told my wife when I left that I wanted to be apart but not grow apart, so I suggested that we go to lunch occasionally, have dinner with the kids and spend time with each other and the kids on the weekends. I didn't pressure her into when any of this would happen. I only told her she was in the driver's seat and when she felt comfortable to let me know. Well, the last 2 weeks have been a nightmare for me, but we have had our good days. We went to lunch on a whim last week and I spent Saturday with my family just doing normal everyday stuff. I was really upset the night before and I went over to the house that morning and found a very receptive wife willing to talk to me. Instead of begging and pleading, I only explained what I was feeling. I even mentioned how lonely and horny I was, felt like an idiot when that came out but couldn't help myself. She said that she missed me and that she too was lonely and needy. We ended up sleeping together. Afterwards, she asked if I wanted to spend the day and of course I said yes. She left the house later to go to the store and I ended up taking a nap with my oldest daughter on the couch. When she got home, she immediately sat down and told me that she wanted to start doing all of those things that I suggested, but no more bonding, which I understand can complicate things. I was ecstatic. I cooked lunch and grilled steaks for dinner and it was a good day. I asked her later if she regretted the bonding and she said no. We also talked again on Tuesday night and like all of our talks during this process, it was relaxed and calm. After the talk, she gave me a hug and said that it was a good talk and that she thought we were making progress. I started reading online articles and stuff on this site to figure out what I should do. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff I was reading that related to my situation made me feel as if she had or tried to have a physical or emotional affair. Yesterday I confronted her about it and she swore up and down and promised that none were the case. She had been cheated on by her ex-husband and I have very strong morals and convictions against cheating in any form. That was one of the things we valued about each other. So, we have a lot of trust in this area, but since this all came out, I am having some trust issues because it's hard for me to understand why this is happening so suddenly. So I felt the urge to ask, and I believe her. I know it was a mistake asking, but she said it didn't set us back any, and even asked if I wanted to go to lunch. Lunch turned into a 2-hour conversation about what's going on, and it ended with her telling me that she is done right now, but she might change her mind. She said she wants and loves me, but she can't have me right now. So, I told her that I would back off further. I suggested that we can take this time to work on ourselves with some space and individual counseling and try to work on ourselves, and that when we did that, we could work toward being friends again. Whatever happens, being friends will ultimately be the best thing for us both. I don't know what to do. I'm sticking with doing a 180 because I know that I have to make myself happy before I can make her happy. If it's not meant to be, then this 180 will make me a better person and make the divorce easier. I started this with her after our talk yesterday, and she has since called me 5 times and texted me 4 times about nothing at all. I picked up the girls from school yesterday because the wife was at an appointment. When she got home, I said bye to the girls and said bye to her. She was teary-eyed, and I knew she wanted to talk or see some feelings out of me, but I just waved and left. It was the hardest thing I've done up to this point because I wanted nothing more than to give her a hug and tell her we could do this or that everything would be alright, but she needed me to leave to realize what she is missing. Since I started this novel, she has called me once to talk about nothing, and then even texted me saying that all of this is starting to catch up to her and that she is an emotional mess. She says she loves me. She says he misses me. She says she is lonely. She says everything that would make you think she will come back to me, and even went as far as to say that I've been perfect since I've been home, and she sees the change in me to make this a better marriage. She also sees that what and who I have been since I've been home isn't to win her back, but to genuinely be a better person for the both of us. I am asking for any advice on what I shouldn't do from people that have gone through this before. My ultimate goal is to reconcile with my wife because I believe we have a deep enough bond to work through our issues with a marriage counselor and learn to love each other again. I believe if we can make it through this, that it will be something beautiful, and my wife has expressed the same thing. I am starting to realize that whatever happens is not my choice, but that I can do things to make her think about what is actually going on. I start my first IC session on Friday, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I want to be happy again with or without her, but hopefully with her. We might have to reconnect and start dating again, but I feel like the time apart wasn't a disconnect as much as it was a realization for her. We have gone on 1 date, but that was early on, and she said she felt uncomfortable even though I felt like it was going well. As soon as it was over, she went out to the bar with her friends. I am getting better at not reading too much into her thoughts, emotions, but it is hard to not talk to her. She also came up with an excuse to see me today, to drop off some paperwork I need to sign. At first, she wanted to come over to my brother's house tonight to do it because him and his wife have to sign it too. Now she wants to drop it off at my office today and for me to take it to my brother's. I guess I'll let her, but I think it's because she wants to see me and possibly talk. Update: well, I broke my 180 this morning. My wife came by to pick up some paperwork from my office, and I felt the need to comfort her over some issues not related to our current situation. We have a mutual friend that we have known for the last 10 years, and we were talking last night about some issues the W is having with suppressing emotion and reliving the past, and she brought up that the W had been ex-assaulted at a young age. I never knew this, and it broke my heart. All I wanted to do last night was to call her and tell her I was so sorry that had happened to her. I really felt the need to comfort her. Our mutual friend said that the W had been dealing with it for years and that there was nothing I could do about it anyway. Well, I still broke down when she came in this morning and I asked her about it. She said it really wasn't that big of a deal and that she has mostly forgotten about it, and it wasn't a reason on how she feels about her past. She thanked me for talking to her, and I was surprised that she didn't get defensive and that she opened up to talk about it. I know I broke my 180 by doing this. Hopefully it doesn't affect too much. I am currently about 5 weeks past the divorce conversation. I still have my ups and downs, but I'm feeling better almost daily about the situation because I know I will be alright one day. I really don't think we are making any progress, and if we are, I can't see it. She seems to care about how I feel and checks up on me every day. Nothing big. I think she just wants to gauge where I am emotionally because she does genuinely care how I feel and doesn't want to see me hurt. She is not emotionally detached from me, just scared and confused. She told me last week though that she wants me but can't have me right now, but in the same conversation she also said that I am the only person she can see herself with and can't imagine a life without me. She also said she was giving me attention so I wouldn't break down, but I actually feel better because I think that any contact she gives me will be because she wants to and not because she feels like she is obligated to. I told her I would step back even further and give her more space, so the MC and frequent get-togethers will cease until she decides if she wants to or not. She has made efforts to be friendly through text, email, just not over the phone or face-to-face yet. I started the 180 about a week ago, and for the most part I have stuck to my guns. I started the process of working on myself, and since last week, started on meds to stop smoking. planned a small vacation by myself to see a friend, and went to my first IC session. My wife's ex cheated on her too, and she ended it immediately. I have a feeling she is going through something similar to what you are describing. She puts on a happy face, but I can tell it's tearing her up, and she has said as much. I hear you about the slight indifference. Sometimes I feel like I don't care and I just want her to make up her mind up and just let me go, but then I realize I don't want anything but her and the kids. I have been strong on the 180, but it sometimes feels like that is making her happier. Probably not though. Could she be pulling a reverse 180 on me? Oh well, day by day, and we'll see what happens. Just got to work on myself, have patience, and give her space. Last night was torture. I went out with my brother for a while. I wasn't upset but not happy either. Sleeping was the bad part though. Dreamed about being divorced and then about getting back together. Neither dream was bad. I felt content in both, but when I woke up, reality set in and I couldn't go back to sleep. Woke up early and just got up for work. Today hasn't been bad. I just feel indifferent. Wife messaged me about problems with the laptop. It had shut down on me over the weekend while she was out of town, and it's not working right. I don't know why she asked me. She always goes to her computer-savvy dad for that kind of advice. At the end of it, she said, "Sorry to bother you." I'm not going to try to overanalyze what that meant. I think she feels me pulling back and she is coming up with small excuses to talk to me. I felt an immediate sense of anxiety when she texted me because I was kind of hoping that she wouldn't try to contact me today. I sense a talk coming up. We have talked throughout this whole thing and we have been nothing but cordial towards each other, but she has not really initiated a conversation about us. On a good note, by next week I should be smoke-free. I've quit for 6 months in 2020 and for a year between July 2021 to 2022. This time I think I can do it for the last time and get this monkey off my back. Well, the weekend didn't go very well. I went over to dinner Thursday and everything went well. A lot of small talk, shared some laughs and smiles. I also told her that I had to start thinking of my future and started my own checking account to start saving money for a new place. She said it was fair and that I had to protect myself. I also told her that I was moving on, but that I wouldn't give up until I knew it was over for sure, and that I would still give her space and be there when she needed me. Friday, she wanted me to go to the school carnival with our daughters. We went and everything was fine there too. Just some small talk. Friday night I figured I would unwind and drink a little. Well, that turned into a late night phone call, which was pretty bad. It was emotional, not angry. I just wanted to try and figure out why this was happening. It was a mistake. I called her a coward. I regretted it so bad that when I woke up, I went to the house to apologize and tell her I meant what I said, because it is how I feel, but that I shouldn't go about it like that, and that I would stop drinking because it just clouds my judgment. I hardly drink, but I have been lately to sleep and try to forget. I know it isn't healthy and I am working on it. During that conversation the next morning, she gave me a letter that she had wrote a few days prior. She basically said that she still couldn't make up her mind and that she knew it was killing me, so she says she was letting me go. She told me that she loved and missed me, and that when she sent me the text last weekend when she was out of town at a concert, it was because she missed me and she was thinking about me. She said she might be making the biggest mistake of her life a couple of times, and still says she cannot imagine a life without me in it, but still cannot make a decision. She told me how great of a father I am and how great of a person I am, and that she knows I am a better person now and that I will make someone very happy someday, but she can't see herself as that person right now. She is letting go. She is destroying her feelings for me. I also said I felt uncomfortable wearing my ring for now and decided to take it off and put it on my keyring. She said that if I wasn't wearing mine, she wasn't wearing hers. I asked her why she was still wearing hers, and she said the same thing I did, that it was because she still has hope. I regret that. Now she might really move on. I watched the girls on set so she could do some volunteer work that day, and when I got back over there, we made some small talk and she gave me a hug and left. When she got back, we talked some more and shared some more small talk and laughs. I felt very confident and left when I felt it appropriate, maybe like 15 to 20 minutes later after we tucked the girls into bed. On Sunday she had some more volunteer work to do before my nephew's birthday party. We made small talk again before she left, and at the birthday party, it all seemed comfortable and easy, not pressured and awkward. Then she had to go to cheerleading registration and texted me a few times while she was gone to tell me how much of a waste of time it was and how hot it was in there because the AC was broke. She was thinking about me again when she had nothing else to think about. I know I shouldn't hope, but it is something. She also called me on her way home to tell me that our oldest daughter pulled her tooth out on the way home. Then she texted me a couple of times about it. Just small talk and jokes. Then she found the letter I wrote on Sunday while she was gone. I basically told her that I was letting her go too. I told her that I apologized for all the things I did and all the things I didn't do. I told her that everything happens for a reason and that she would always hold a place in my heart. I told her I wasn't begging or pleading or trying to pressure her. I was just a little more at ease with what was going on and that I needed to get it off of my chest. It was kind of a closure letter. I needed to tell her how much I cared about her and that if she wanted a divorce, I was fine with that and wouldn't fight her on it, because I believe that if that will make her happy and she is confident that is what she wants, I couldn't keep her anymore. I told her that I believed in my heart and soul that we have too strong of a bond and that we could make it work, but we needed to just be friends right now and work on ourselves. I'm starting to let go. I still have hope, but it is fading. The letter made me feel better, and I haven't heard from her since she got it. I am still heartbroken, but I will continue my version of the 180 and give her time to make her choice. I will be there for her when she needs me, and I will engage in small talk, but it will still be up to her to initiate. I busted my 180 bad this weekend, but I started it again Saturday morning when I came over to watch the girls, and I feel confident sticking to it. Next step is getting my own place and move out of my brother's. It will make it more real for the both of us, and maybe we can both think a little more clearly on what we want. I am still profoundly sad because I feel that it is ending, but I know that time will heal and I have to be a better person for me. Well, since the letter on Sunday, she has called twice about finances, nothing more. I have also felt more disconnected and a little more at ease even though she hasn't responded. I don't think I want her to respond. I want her to really think about it and keep it to herself. Finally, been sleeping well the last few nights without anything to help me sleep. I think I may be turning a corner, but if the last 7 weeks have proved anything, it's that feelings can change pretty quick. I just pray for inner peace and happiness in whatever happens. Well, I went over to the house on Wednesday to pick up my new debit card and some other things and to see my girls. I talked with my W about finances and how we needed to go about it in the future with me looking for an apartment. I went over in detail how it was going to work and how it would be fair. She didn't argue about any of it because it is fair. She did break down a few times, but I was upbeat and confident. I played with the kids and just felt good. It was kind of weird that I could feel upbeat around my W while she is looking seriously stressed out and emotional. She said this is really starting to wear her down and said before I left that she still doesn't know what she wants to do yet. Funny thing is, when she said how bad this is messing with her, I asked why she looks so happy on Facebook with pictures and posts. And she said it was a front because she doesn't want anybody to know how bad this is on her. I have been pretty upbeat since the Saturday morning convo. I'm actually getting excited about moving into my own place, and I think it is the next step to me moving on. Hopefully with, but maybe without her, I still have hope. She has gone just about full NC with me, which is good because if I don't see her or talk to her, I can find a little peace even though I'm still a wreck. I think she is finally starting to realize what all of this will mean in either situation, or she is taking a step back to figure it out. Yesterday was the first day since I have been home from my deployment that she hasn't tried to contact me. She was probably not going to on Wednesday either, but I showed up anyway. Kind of torn up, but can't do anything about it right. I think she is starting to see me moving on, and she is starting to realize what the future could bring. She has posted some interesting things on Facebook the last 2 nights. 1. Wednesday night right after I left. It is funny how the choices we make can often leave you lonelier than you have ever been. 2. Last night after we had not communicated all day. Too often we don't realize what we have until it is gone. Too often we're too stubborn to say sorry, I was wrong. Too often it seems we hurt the ones closest to our hearts and we let the most foolish things tear us apart. I didn't bite on either, and even though I don't want to analyze what she meant by either, I find it hard not to. She knows I am fully committed to making this work and have it been a better marriage, so I do not think the posts were directed at me, but rather she is letting me know in an indirect kind of way how she feels. What do you guys think? Well, no plans for the weekend, and that feels good. I will be watching the girls tonight for a couple of hours while the W is at work. Well, I watched my youngest daughter on Saturday while my wife took the oldest to a cheerleading camp. When she came to pick my youngest up, I asked my oldest daughter if she wanted to stay the afternoon and that night with me. My W said that they were going to a babysitter so she could DD for some of her friends from work to go out and celebrate their recent promotion. I was furious but didn't say anything. I am still their dad, and she wasn't even going to ask if I would watch them and that she was going out, but she wanted this, so it is none of my business what she does. Fast forward to last night. My W called and asked if I could watch the dog on Wednesday night. I asked why, and she said that she got invited by her co-workers to go a concert. I asked who was watching the girls, and again she arranged a babysitter. I put my foot down and said no, that I was still their daughter and I would watch them over someone I don't even know. I asked her why she wouldn't ask me, and she said it was because she felt like she was using me so she could go out. I didn't say much more and hung up. I got upset about it after a while and gave it some time, and called her back to voice my concerns over her recent behavior of always wanting to go out and being distant from the kids. Not yelling, screaming, anger, just a calm discussion on my view of her recent actions. It really does feel like she feels trapped and just wants to get away. She is always doing volunteer work or taking the kids somewhere or going out with friends. Later on, after the phone call, she messaged me on Facebook and apologized for getting angry and frustrated. She said that she understands where I am coming from and that I just want the best for my kids while we are in this situation. We went back and forth and I finally asked if she felt comfortable calling me. She did almost immediately. The phone call went into how I felt about her behavior lately and how it might be affecting the kids. She agreed. My oldest has told us both that she knows mommy and daddy are broken up, and my youngest has been asking about me and having more accidents than usual with her potty training. W said it was killing her to be in the house because it is still our house and just needed to keep herself busy while she is trying to figure out what she wants. I have not had her open up like this since D-Day happened. She really seemed willing to and wanted to talk and open up. We didn't talk long, but I told her I understood why she felt the need to get away and live like a single person. She immediately got upset, not mad, when I said that. She said that she wasn't single, she was still married. I didn't say what I wanted to and I let her go on. She talked about how lonely she is and how much she misses me. She talked about the house being nothing but memories of all of us together as a family and that being home doesn't feel right. I talked too about how I'm feeling but not about where we go from here. I left that open-ended. Time to rant. So, we had the childcare thing worked out for the concert. She called this morning and told me not to worry about taking care of the dog and that she would bring me the things I needed to take care of the girls overnight since she will be at the concert. I asked why it was a big deal with the dog since she would be home later that night, and she finally told me that she was staying at the married couple's house after the concert out of convenience and that she didn't want the dog home all night. That was the reason she was going to let the girls stay there also. I couldn't help it and told her that her behavior is odd lately. I was mad that after all these years it feels like I barely know this person anymore. She used to call me from the grocery store to find out what brand of mayo to buy. She really just wants to do whatever she wants at this point. She just wants to be single, not in a find a new husband, BF kind of way, just an I have to get away from the stresses in my life, kids, husband, kind of way. A friend of hers told me that it seems she just wants the best of both worlds and is confused. Then she sends this email. Look, I am not trying to make this difficult. We are all supposed to meet at Y's because she is our DD and she is close to base. I will not have time tonight to run home after I get off and change and get ready, so that was the reasoning. We are trying to make the ride as smooth as possible because I spent a lot of time on set driving people around to their different houses, and with that being said, it is easier for me to just stay in her spare room. The girls were originally going to be staying there with me. Her hubby was only going to watch them while we were gone and I would be getting up with them. So, it wasn't like they were staying there and I wasn't. I do not want him to be neglected, and well, I think this is good for him. He will have another dog to play with tonight and I do not see the harm in it, and then tomorrow after work I will take him home with us. You were getting upset even though you were trying to play it off. You do care. I am no different than I ever was, but things are different with you and I do not like asking you for anything. This is my choice for our current situation, so I feel as though I just need to do what I need to do. I am not doing anything wrong. Nothing. I am going to be with Y and S tonight. I do not see the harm in any of this. So please, stop judging me. She has control of her life it seems, and now I care less and less, but I still care some. I am really getting to the point I don't think this is worth it anymore, but I'm still attached. Today I want it to be over and just move on and just not see or talk to her for some time. I sent this response. You are right, at this point it is not my business what you do, even though I feel as though it should be. It will pass in time. Not judging, just confused about who you are becoming. Don't get mad at me because I still care. At this point, even though I shouldn't engage with her like this, my emotions get the better of me and I respond like this. And as I type this, she calls and asks if I need anything from the house since she is coming by my work to drop off the stuff for the kids. I am now looking forward to getting my apartment and living for myself and my girls. Why does crap like this happen? Why can't two mature people just sit down and decide what is best? Why do I have to be dragged through the mud? Why can't she just make up her damn mind? I am not a patient person. I will not wait forever and I am well on my way to moving on. I still want my marriage to work, but with her actions the last few weeks, I want it less and less every day. Do I give up? Do I hold out? I wonder where my breaking point is. She has done nothing but push me away all the while saying, I don't know. What a cop-out. End of email. Being bitter is not detachment, but I will get over that too. I find it hard to hold on to any emotion for too long, if it comes down to that. I really think if I was still in her life that the things she has been doing would be fun to do with her. But with her doing these things without me takes some getting used to. I'm re-establishing a good relationship with my brother and his family. Going to a lot of IC twice a week for a month now to figure out why I am where I am and how not to ever be here again. I neglected nurturing any form of friendships with anyone because I was so wrapped up in family life. So, I am to the point of wanting to meet people and try to step out of my comfort zone and try new things. I also started working out and I'm trying to stop smoking. I started reading Divorce Busters last night. I got that and Divorce Remedy from a used bookstore. Guess I should keep up with those. My comment: if she is initiating something constructive, there is absolutely no problem with engaging and building. If her initiation involves blame, dumping anger, or other attention-seeking victim triangle behavior, you know what to do. And you do know the difference. Part 2 ending coming tomorrow. Hit that bell button for the latest update.